Lost Village is a novel about the psychical researcher Harry Price, who was a maverick psychical researcher who existed during the late 90s, who was conducting his investigations during the late 1930s. And it's the story of his relationship with his assistant and the journey they make together to the village of Imber, where they discover long-buried secrets now surfacing. It's a macabre, in some ways gothic, ghost story, but it's one that I hope readers will appreciate, particularly at this time of year. The village of Imber, of course, was abandoned at the outbreak of war when soldiers entered and forced every inhabitant to leave because they needed to train troops in the village of Imber. And what that meant was that there were many residents there who were turfed out of their homes, who I think longed to go back. In fact, the first person to die, the last person to leave Imber, went back in a coffin and was buried in Imber churchyard. There was something deeply tragic about that story, but also whilst writing the novel I began to think, well, there would have been all sorts of sufferings, long lost sufferings and contested ownerships in a village like Imber, and I think those are the perfect ingredients for a ghost story.
And can you tell me what is so special about Imber?
What stood out to me most of all was the sense of a location that exists out of time. This was somewhere that has been abandoned and out of bounds for so very long, yet it exists in such close proximity to where we're standing right now. And what that tells me is that this is a place where time has been permanently wounded and is permanently in pain. And I think there could be no better description of a ghost village than that.
What's the takeaway from reading your book?
When you come to a story like The Lost Village, there are so many takeaways readers can have from it. Some are historical, some are the obvious scares that you associate with a ghost story. But I think what I'd most like readers to take away is the impression that actually these haunted places that exist and that these haunted landscapes are actually all around us, and to keep our eyes open to sometimes what's sitting not very far from where you live. In the case of Imber, it's 7 miles away.